Hi everyone! Now that we have completed the research paper proposal, it is time to move immediately into Essay 2, the annotated bibliography. Now, just as a reminder, our Essay 1, the paper proposal, was where you came up with your research questions, did some preliminary research, and developed your argumentative points. Now in Essay 2, this is where you're going to find all of your sources. So you should use your research questions that you came up with for Section 2 of Essay 1. Take those questions. Now you're going to find the source material to answer those questions. So just as a reminder, again, you're working with the same topic. All three essays are the same topic, and you're developing different components of the process. So this section is now focused on finding all of the research. So let's just take a look at the format of an annotated bibliography, what it is that you'll need in it, and then we'll look at a quick example, and then hopefully you'll be ready to go. And then as always, if you have questions about this, you can contact me through Canvas Mail. So just an overview here, again, your annotated bibliography. A bibliography is simply the list of the sources. In MLA, our bibliography is in works cited format. So you're following, again, MLA works cited. And then the annotation is a summary and evaluation of those particular sources. So for your annotated bibliography, not only are you going to find the source material that you will use in Essay 3, but you're also going to summarize and fully evaluate that material. So if you look down here, when it comes to what your annotation should cover, so there will be 3 paragraphs for each annotation. The first paragraph here is where you summarize. So summaries are always written in third person, and they're objective and focused on just the purpose and the point of the material. So objective should not contain any of your evaluations or anything about your own paper. It's just an objective overview of what the source contains. Paragraph 2 is your assessment paragraph. Now, this is where you start with the SCARAB rubric. So we're going back to English 151, in which you were introduced to the SCARAB in your Information Lit module. So you'll use that SCARAB to evaluate it, and then you'll go through and basically defend your source. So if you're looking at these questions here, you want to think of it as this is your paragraph in which to go through and defend that source, to make kind of a mini argument as to why this particular source is credible, is worthwhile, should be used in a college level essay. Okay. Now, just a note here, and this is important, that if you determine that particular source is not appropriate for a college level essay, it should not be included on your annotated bibliography. Your bibliography should only include the sources that you plan on using for Essay 3, which is your final argumentative research paper. And then finally, you have paragraph 3. So once you've summarized and assessed it, now you need to figure out exactly how it fits into your overall paper. So you're looking at how the source is useful to you, how it's going to help shape your argument, and then determining how it can be used to appeal to the 3 parts of the rhetorical triangle. So going back to ethos, pathos, and logos. Now think of this section. It's extremely important that you determine that connection between your argumentative points and the resource material. So this needs to be a bridge between the two. It should show us exactly how you plan on using it and how it's going to help you appeal to those 3 components. Now, next part here, formatting the annotated bibliography. There's just a few rules. It should follow, it should be in alphabetical order. It should follow all the rules of a works cited page. So make sure you're following MLA format. Then there should be 3 paragraphs for each of your sources. Now, this essay has a particular format that it is single-spaced and then has those 3 paragraphs for each citation. It is not in traditional essay format in the sense that there's an introduction and then you're going through your essay. Rather, it looks like a giant works cited page, and it just has 3 paragraphs in between each source. And then finally, just your source requirements. So first, you need to have at least 7 sources. Okay, and with those sources, they will include books, popular and scholarly periodical articles, websites, interviews, surveys, audiovisual materials. It should be a combination of sources. And if you're wondering about what those types of sources are, take a look at the source handout that's posted for you, and then also make sure you read that chapter in your book before you get started on this. Now, at least 3 of your sources must come from scholarly publications. This is extremely important. You have to have a minimum of 3. All of your sources can be scholarly publications. That's absolutely fine. So you can have up to 7, but you have to have a minimum of 3 that come from academic journals. No more of 2 of those 7 sources may be internet sources. Now, internet sources, that doesn't mean necessarily it was found on the internet, but rather it's published only on the internet. So internet sources would be websites that do not come from other credible publications. And then finally, if you determine that when you go through the source, you find some sources, you read them, you determine that, hey, I don't really want to use this source, okay, then it should not appear in your annotated bibliography. This is only for the sources that you absolutely plan to use in Essay 3. And just a quick note, you are welcome to include the 1 to 2 sources you used from Essay 1, as long as you plan on using them in that final essay. You may find that you find better sources now that you do some more serious research than what you had used in Essay 1. So, and if so, that's absolutely fine. Just to discard those sources, use your better ones. Okay. So one other thing here, I'm going to click over onto the sample citation. So you'll see, again, it should start out here with your citation in MLA format. You have your first paragraph here. This is your summary paragraph. You have your second paragraph, which is your assessment, where you go through, again, starting with that SCARE rubric, make sure that you're using it and you break everything down. And then you have your third paragraph here, which is your reflection, in which you reflect on how you're going to use the source, particularly tying it into argumentative points, or if you're using it for background information, whatever you want to do with it, as well as how it will be used to help you appeal to the rhetorical triangle. Now, you'll see on this source, this example, there are notes on the side here. These notes are all just for you. I put them in, I put together the sample source citation and annotation, and then I put notes on the side just to point out some important parts for you. So please do make sure that you read through those notes. All right, so if you have any questions about this essay, again, please contact me through Canvas Mail. I do highly, highly suggest you get started on this immediately because out of the 3 essays, this is definitely the most time consuming, because not only do you have to find the research, so you have to use those questions, find research to support all of your questions, you also have to read through the research, evaluate everything, determine how you're going to use it, and then write these 3 paragraphs for each of your citations. So there's quite a bit to do in this paragraph, just in this for this essay time-wise. And then also, if you find that you're struggling with finding sources, again, you can contact me, but absolutely reach out to the librarians. We have reference librarians. They're available via chat or phone call. You can stop in, email. Their whole background, our reference librarians, is in research. So they are absolutely just experts at finding research, and they love looking at your different topics and working with you on this. So use those resources. Feel free to reach out to them. They are familiar with this assignment. They know what it is you're looking for, and they can absolutely help you with your database searching if you're finding that you're not finding quality material that you want. All right, so I will bring this to an end. Again, feel free to reach out to me through Canvas Mail if I need to clear anything up for you. But otherwise, again, go ahead, get started on this, and I will hopefully hear from some, again, if there's any questions, just